it worked last time once I tried to edit in or add in destinations. Okay, well, let's see if we get anybody on. It says that we're streaming on all three. I don't know why I still have a error message up there, but we'll see. Anyway, if you're new to this, my name is Tracy Matson. I'm a certified professional dog trainer and behavior consultant. I live in Utah. I have 3 pitty mixes, well, 1 full pit, 2 pitty mixes, and a cat. And I love doing these lives. We get a lot of the same people every week, so it's kind of like our little Pupford family. So hopefully we will get some people on, and hopefully this is working. Yeah, it says it's working, so okay. We started doing something new where I give you guys a case study and have you guys think it through and tell me, like, maybe what did the person do wrong or what should they do. And when you answer the question, you get an extra, I put your name in an extra time for the drawing. So we did it 1 week and everybody liked it, so we're going to do it every week. Hopefully, if we get some people on. Oh, it's 1:45. Andrea, that means it's working. Awesome. I have been having technical difficulties, so when no one was on, I didn't know if it's because it wasn't working. So you have no idea how happy I am to see your name pop up. And it was the Facebook platforms that wasn't working, so that shows me that it's there. And Andrea, will you remind me where you're from? I'm sure I could go back in some of my things and find you, but it's going to be easier. Hey, Jenny. Yay, people are getting on. Okay. So Facebook, so it comes to me from, depending on which platform, sometimes it has your name. Sometimes it just says Facebook user. So whoever is from New Jersey that says hello from New Jersey, I need your name. And then I can enter you into the drawing. And hello, Jenny. And Jenny, remind me where you're from as well. I'm going through all my little slips that I use for the drawing, and it's probably going to be, oh, Jenny, I've got you, Indiana. Oh, yes, Andrea. Okay, so Andrea, Florida. Hey, Renee. Jenny, Indiana. Oh, and then Wendy. Wendy, you're the one from New Jersey, right? Wendy Werner, New Jersey. Barb, California. Oh, we're getting everybody from all over. I love it. Okay. And yeah, actually, Jenny, it's coming up as Jenny here. So as long as I know who you are and where you're from, I can enter you. Oh, Renee, I've got to enter you. Illinois. Okay. Let's see. Renee, is Brian coming? Okay, so that was a stressful 10 minutes because I couldn't get this to work. And then I was stressing and I kept trying to fix it, and I thought I fixed it once, and so, but then nobody was on, so I shut it. I tried doing it again. Anyway, I'm terrible when it comes to technology. When it doesn't, I am very challenged. I have no idea how to fix stuff. I just start pushing buttons, and hopefully it works, which is pretty much what I did tonight, and it worked. Okay, so I have a case study for you. This one's kind of an easy one. 1-year-old rescue dog who is in a foster home right now. There is a potential adopter for this dog, and the dog is very fearful of men. So I talked to the girlfriend, and they wanted to set up like some training because they really. Oh, hi, Sandy. Oh, we have another one from Indiana. So they want to adopt the dog. They just want to make sure that the dog can get used to, especially the boyfriend, because right now he just runs from the boyfriend. So, again, 1-year-old, tell me, what are some of the things that would have caused this dog to be fearful of men? There's two main ones. So there's probably more, but I'm looking for two main ones. However, if you give me a good answer, I will enter you again. If you hit one of the two things that I'm thinking of, though, then I will give you like 2 extra points for our drawing. Lancaster. Wow, we're getting a lot of new people tonight. I love it. So Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, if you can tell me your name, then I will enter you into the drawing. Yes, bingo. Who is that, though? It just says Facebook user. So tell me your name that just said bad experience from men. Is that Barbara or Wendy? Because both of you just come up as Facebook user. Okay, and then Hope from Pennsylvania. Yes, so Jenny, yes, abuse. And that's true. I'm going to give you another point for deep, loud voice. With dogs, a deeper voice. Okay, Wendy. So you get 2 points because that was the one that I was looking for. When dogs bark in like a deeper voice, that's more like threatening, whereas a high-pitched bark is like, let's play kind of thing. So yes, deep, loud voice. So yes, bad experiences with men or abuse. Yeah, so more good answers. Moves too fast. Protective of female owner. Yes, that could be too. They're not really an owner yet. I mean, they've taken the dog on like a trial weekend. So I'm not sure that the dog really knows the female owner yet but that doesn't mean that is wrong. It could actually be. So there's one other answer that I'm looking for 2 points. So yes, bad experience with men, abuse by a man could very well be one, and then there's one other major one. Yeah, it could be that he doesn't trust him yet. Okay, I'm going to give you a point for that. Yes, it could be trauma. I'm going to give you a hint. It's something that happens mostly between the ages of 3 and 16 weeks. Something really important that happens between 3 and 16 weeks. And if jealousy could be a good one, Yes, hope. Okay, I'll give you a point for that. Yes, Renee. Bingo. Never socialized with men. So when somebody has like a puppy or even a rescue, a lot of times if the dog is really shy and running away, people automatically assume, oh, this dog's been abused. And that very well could be. But one of the other reasons is that the dog was never socialized to men. So when I have a puppy class, I give them like a handout on different things to socialize their dog with. So that can mean, and I have them do children, people of different ages, but especially with men, because you're exactly right with the low voice, low, deep voice. They can come across as being a little bit more threatening. But I will have them socialize their dogs to men with hats, men with sunglasses, hoodies, baseball hats, things like that, just so the dog gets used to them. So yes, those are great answers, because it really could have been any of those. The two main ones are lack of socialization. Hey, Steph. Steph, where are you from? And I will enter you into our drawing. So yes, if the dog didn't get socialized enough during that, or if, and it could even be like a really scary, like let's say something traumatic. So who's trauma? Yes, I gave you a point for that one, Jenny. So if something really scary happened to the dog during a fear period and it involved a man, then it can really like affect them. And a lot of times we don't see the fallout until like a year and a half, but this dog's a year, so it could still happen. So yeah, we don't want to always assume the dog's been abused, but that's definitely one of them. So we were going to, she asked if we were going to meet on neutral territory, and I said, well, I mean, we can meet at my house, but since the dog doesn't live at your place, he might feel more comfortable there. And one of the reasons I decided to do it at their place is because the boyfriend's going to be there, and it'll be great to be able to work with the dog around an actual man rather than me just demoing what to do. It'll be good to actually work around the person that's going to be living in the home that this dog's mainly afraid of. So good job, you guys. I'm so proud of you. Such good answers too. Okay, so what questions do you have for me tonight? On the training end of things, it's been a little slow, probably because school's starting and everybody's busy with, back to school, getting kids in school, stuff like that. So I've been doing a ton of continuing ed. And like if I could, I would be a professional student, because I'm one of those weird people that I love to go to school and I love to learn. So I had signed up for a conference last October, and still going through like it's a 3-day conference. And so I'm just catching up now, going through all of the videos that I need to go through and getting continuing ed, but I could do it all day. Like I love learning from new people and learning new things. So it's been kind of nice that it's been a little bit slow, just because I can get caught up on all that stuff. Okay, so what else you guys got for me? Or do you want another case study while you're thinking of questions? Any question. I usually can't answer questions about dog food, mainly because I don't know. I'm not an expert on nutrition. I wish I was, and I do need to study more on nutrition so that I can, hey Jade, so that I can answer questions. But um, I will tell you, I watched a webinar, and I can't really go into the specifics because I'm not well versed in it, but they talk about if any of you like know about human nutrition and you hear the word like microbiome and gut health and stuff like that. I'm working with a nutritionist right now, and he talks about that all the time, microbiomes, and you've got to fix your gut, and then then it makes it easier to fix other things. So there is, oh, perfect, Andrea, I will answer that. So there is definitely a connection between gut health and the brain. So the vet that was presenting this went into a lot of like details, but there is definitely a correlation between a dog's, well, same with humans, but between gut health and the brain. So if the dog isn't on a nutritious diet, is lacking, but doesn't have good gut health, then it can definitely affect the way they learn and the way they behave. So sometimes it can make dogs more aggressive, things like that. So there were some instances of like they changed a dog's dog food, and then the dog was like not aggressive. And then one day that the dog got into something that he wasn't supposed to have, and the aggression came back like almost immediately. And then they went back on the food took about 4 days, and the aggression subsided again. And then perfect for 6 months, and then the owners decided to change the food again, and the aggression came back. So one thing I always do with clients is make sure that they are open to maybe trying a different food. If we don't, I'll give them a training plan and stuff, and then I usually tell them, if we don't see any progress in 3 to 4 weeks, and if you're doing the homework and everything, then let's try changing food. I also send them to the vet, and depending on the age, sometimes I'll recommend blood work, but we always want to rule out like medical, and then it's kind of the same thing with food. So if we're working and we're doing all this, but they're not on a good food, and it's affecting how they behave and learn, then it's not going to matter what we do if the underlying problem is related to nutrition. So there's so many different things that we can look at when it comes to behavior. So that's why I'm kind of becoming a behavior geek, because it's so interesting. Okay, Andrea, frustrated barking or barking for attention play. Yes. Now, I think frustration barking is different than like attention barking. So I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I went into a new client's house, and hang on. I had done one. Oh, Mandy, this is not food, sweetheart. So I had done one session with them via Zoom. So I hadn't met their dogs like in person yet. So I come in the front door, and I could hear the dogs barking from upstairs, and I figured she had them behind a baby gate or something. So anyway, I went up, and the 2 dogs were behind a baby gate, barking like crazy. And I started to toss treats like behind the dog. I like to toss behind the dog so the dogs learn how to, can move away and back up. So kind of retreat. And then they'll come closer again, and I just keep doing that. However, with these dogs, they were so over threshold that they wouldn't take treats. And when I tried to like hand them a treat out of my hand, I got a growl out of one of them. And that the dogs were just like over threshold, couldn't take treats, couldn't listen. And they were barking. However, as soon as I sat down, got the computer out, we just ignored them for a little bit. And as soon as one of the dogs kind of calmed down, I had the owner let her out. And the dog was fine, like came walking up to me, perfect. So then I had her let the other dog out, and same thing, like come right in up to me, like, oh, you're new, you probably have treats, you smell like dogs. And the dogs were great. I mean, first, when they were barking behind the baby gate, I'm like, oh, geez, I hope I don't get bit. And I didn't know for sure if we were even going to be able to get the dogs out from behind the baby gate. But once that barrier was gone, they were great. So I kind of view that as like a barrier frustration, barrier reactivity. So it's like a frustration thing where somebody's on the other side and they're behind a gate and can't get out and can't get to you. So that's kind of what I view as frustration. Barking for attention. So the same dog, we were doing stationing, so place, and this dog had a really good cue as far as like, go to your place. But then as we were talking, this dog would start barking. High-pitched, shriek-type, obnoxious, ear-piercing bark. That was for attention because we weren't giving her attention. I wasn't giving her treats. And it was hard to talk over her barking. So that is attention barking. And what I do for that is at first I will ignore them. And not give them attention, but then I will redirect them to do something else, like hand targeting, give them a toy to chew on. However, if the dog's over threshold, they're probably not going to chew on a toy. So it was interesting how when they were behind the gate and barking, they wouldn't take treats at all. However, when they were like right next to me, they want a treat. So if I was ignoring them or talking to their owner, they would start barking. So that's kind of what I view as like attention. So if a dog does that, I will kind of ignore, but then a lot of times I will use what we call a positive interrupter, which is kind of what we started to teach these dogs, which is, hey, that's enough. So it's like, yep, I know you're there. You can stop barking now, so that's enough. When they hear that's enough, then we condition them that a treat follows. So that's how like we get them to stop barking, because it's like, that's enough. And they're like, oh, that means treat's coming. So you condition it just like you would a clicker. So like, if a dog hears a clicker, if you've worked with your dog with a clicker, clicker means treat's coming. So we do that with the positive interrupter. So, that's enough means treat's coming. But then we have to redirect and give the dog something else to do, because otherwise, after they get the treat, they'll just go back to barking. So we would redirect to like a downstay, hand targeting, giving the dog something else to do. So it's a work in progress. They definitely are not going to get it the first night. And then for play, it depends on kind of like if your dog is barking at you because they want you to come play with them, that's how dogs communicate. So you could either say, okay, come on, I'll go play with you. Or I have a cue kind of with my dogs. My dogs don't really bark at me though, but they'll come up and paw or try to get on my lap. And I'll just say, hey guys, mom's working right now. And they just kind of know what that means. So then they go off and do their own thing. And then when I'm done with what I'm doing, then I will go play with them. So does that make sense, Andrea? So with frustration barking, a lot of times if you just remove a barrier or remove whatever is making the dog frustrated, that will help. And then for attention, I just like interrupt and redirect and ask the dog to do something else. As we were sitting there talking too, I kept frequently rewarding the dogs for not barking. And so I was trying to catch the one dog before she started to bark and reward her so she would learn that she's getting rewarded and attention for quiet behavior, not for the barking. So yeah, hope that helps. That's a great question though. Renee, I agree. There are so many, there's so much information out there on dog food, and there's just a lot to know and a lot to learn. So I usually leave that to the professionals. Like, I understand how the gut health and the brain and all that stuff works, but to be able to explain it in lay terms, there's no way I could do it. Jenny, my pup is very bonded to me. He loves car rides. My issue is when I leave, he barks for 10 or 15 minutes after I pull out, even though there are others in the house. So you could, let me think about that for a second. You know, I would almost have you, hey, Anita. Oops, my thing's stuck. I would almost have you do an exercise that we did with a separation anxiety client that I have. Let me write Anita down so I don't forget. Oh, you two that live in Florida, I bet you're going crazy right now with the heat. I mean, it's hot here, so I can't imagine what it's like in Florida. I was out today with the dogs for about 10 minutes, and then I'm like, oh, we got to go in, guys. It's too hot out here. Okay, so what I'm having this person do is, even though there's other people in the house, I would start by putting your dog like behind a baby gate and having you just like leave the room, come back. So you're going to start in the house to where your dog learns that you're going to go away and come back. So dogs behind a baby gate or in an X pen or something like that, you like just disappear behind a wall, come right back in. And when you do this, you want it to be as low key as possible. So, you know, not like super over the top excited, because we're trying to reduce the dog's anxiety, not amp them up more. And then you can eventually like go to the door, open the door, close the door, but don't leave. And so then just go about your business. There's a good possibility that your dog is getting anxious even before you go out the door, because we are creatures of habit. And so my dogs can tell when I'm getting ready to leave. I'll shut my computer, get my bag, put my shoes on, and then the dogs are like, oh, she's getting ready to leave. Do we get to go? And they're like by the door hoping that they get to go. So if you do those things, but don't leave, then it'll start to kind of desensitize your dog to those cues. So what you could do is like go pick up your purse, pick up your keys, walk to the door, turn around, put your purse down, put your keys down, and don't leave. And then I usually like don't acknowledge the dog for like 3 to 5 minutes. So it's super low chill. And then you can start to like open the door, go outside, come right back in. And so you're going to take that, you leaving, and break it into little teeny pieces. It will help if you have like a camera, or if you can turn Zoom, you know, get your computer and start Zoom, just so you have a camera and can watch your dog. Because we always want you to come back before your dog starts barking. So right when you see your dog like either pacing or looking at the door, you want to come back. But as you're building up duration that you're gone, you can look at like your phone, which is going to show you whatever is going on in your house with the camera. Then you can tell if your dog is like somewhat calm, then you can maybe add on 2 or 3 more seconds to it and then come back in. So you always want to try to come back before your dog starts getting too anxious. So right at the beginning. And so in your case, it's going to be like right away. And that's why I would first walk to the door, not leave. And then walk to the door, turn the doorknob, turn it back, don't leave. Then just open the door, close the door. So then, you can walk out, walk back in. And when you start like going out and in and then adding duration, I would do the same one a few times. It also is a good idea, and I have my clients do this, is fill out a behavior log. So they put the date, the time, what they did, whether it was departure cues or disappearing, and how long they disappeared for, and then any other notes. So I would have the other people in the house kind of not participate since the dog's really bonded to you. So, I mean, the other person could do something like give your dog a snuffle mat or a Kong. But if he's like already super stressed that you're leaving, he's probably not going to take any of that stuff. So I would kind of work at it that way from a separation anxiety kind of protocol point of view. I know you can't do it like you got to go to work. So on those days, like it is what it is. But if you can start working on that, like at night when you come home or on the weekends when you're not really going to leave, and just start building up and then building up time, duration. And then I actually have them like go to the car, open the car door, close the car door, because the dogs can hear that. And then they come back in. And then after a few reps of that, then I have them start the car, turn it off, go back in. So you're just adding one more piece of that each time, like each trial, but you're going to do like 5 trials. And you're actually going to stay on one step. You're going to stay there until your dog can do that without panicking. So you don't want to increase until your dog can stay calm right there. So they basically learn 1 second at a time that you're going to leave and come back. So it could, like, it takes a long time to build up to that, but it is absolutely like doable. If your dog gets super anxious, and it sounds like if he just barks for 10 or 15 minutes, that's like not terrible. Some dogs are destructive, and they will start to, like, they will have accidents. They'll chew things. Hey, Willie. He's like falling asleep sitting up. So they'll chew things. They'll get destructive. They'll have accidents. So those dogs, I usually recommend medication, anti-anxiety medication. But if your dog isn't doing that and is just doing the barking, and then after 10 or 15 minutes can settle down, I mean, you could talk to your vet about medication, but it wouldn't be like my first go-to. So give that a try, and then let us know how it goes, because I would love to hear if it's helping your dog or not. Okay, good. You have a camera, so that's awesome. So yeah, you can watch. Andrea, we started rewarding for quiet, calm moments, and I'm going to start rotating toy selections. Awesome. Yes, I rotate my dog's toys all the time. Some toys my dogs have had for like over 5 years, but I rotate them. And like right now, I have a ton of toys in my backyard. And if they're still there, when it snows, then they're probably going to get covered up. But then when spring comes, the dogs are so excited because they've missed their toy all winter long. And all of a sudden now the snow's melting and it's their long lost toy. So that's how we're able to keep the same toy for like 5 or 10 years. So yeah, rotating toys is a great idea. I kind of liken it to when you clean out your closet and you're like, oh, I forgot I had that. I love this thing. Like, at least that's what I do. So to the dog, it's like, oh yeah, I love that toy, because they kind of forget about it. Mary, I did discuss the question on barking for attention. You can go back and watch the video, but really quick, if it's frustration, I just remove the barrier or what's causing the dog frustration. If it's for attention or play, that's how dogs communicate. So you can either give your dog attention, play with your dog, or have like an interrupt cue, like, okay, that's enough, and then reward for quiet. And just like what Andrea did, I love catching dogs. Like, as humans, we tend to ignore dogs when they're being good, and we only focus on them when they're being bad. Hi, Miss Maddie. So I like to focus on them when they're good. So as an example, when I was talking with the owner that had the barking dogs, when they were quiet on their bed, I was just intermittently giving them a treat and rewarding them for that calm behavior rather than waiting for them to bark again. So yeah, that's the short answer. You can also ignore barking. I was ignoring their barking, but they were barking so bad that the owner couldn't hear what we were trying to say. So then we started interrupting, redirecting, and then rewarding calm behavior. So, hello, Holly. Wow, we're getting a lot of new people from different places. I love it. I'm having to write out a lot of the states because it's been a long time since I was in school and I can't remember all of the abbreviations. Okay, Anita, I give my dog a high value toy or antler when I leave, and almost happy to see us go since she gets a great toy. Yes. That can work. Like I'll do that sometimes with my dogs. But when a dog has separation distress or separation anxiety, it's like a panic attack for a dog. So what happens, and that used to be the old protocol, was like to, give them something in their crate. But what they found is that as soon as the Kong was done or the antler was done or they got tired of it, then they would start getting anxious and still do the same behavior. So like the barking, whining, trying to get out of the crate, stuff like that. But yeah, if your dog doesn't have separation anxiety, that's totally fine. I kind of do that just because I know my dogs will go into their crate on cue, but they don't love to go in there. They'd rather go with me. But if I have to work, they have to go in their crate. So I'll give them a treat or something, and then when they're done, they just go to sleep. So yes, that does work. But for separation, it's better to just like start to go out of sight, out of view in your house first, and then take it to outside. Do you guys want to see the cute picture? So Willy Wonka, wait, right there. He's just like laying there. He looks like a little Superman burrito. The way that he lays, he's so cute. I had some people come over that they're looking at getting an emotional support animal, and they wanted to just come and meet me and meet my dogs. And they fell in love with Willie. Like, they wanted Willie. And I like, well, he's not up for adoption. Sorry. So, okay, let me scroll back and see if I missed anybody, and I'll make sure I got everybody in the drawing. And then we can answer more questions. If not, we can do our drawing and I'll let you go. Okay, I got Sandy. I got Hope, Jenny, Renee. Where's Brian been? Last week. And how's Peyton doing? Oh, it's not scrolling. Okay. Steph, I got Steph. I also want to make sure. Oh, yeah, and I did see your comment, Jenny, that I'm glad you have a camera. And when you're, oh, you know what? If you're on vacation now, that's actually perfect because ideally you want to suspend absences. If your dog's having like a panic separation meltdown, they recommend the dog not being left alone. It's harder in your case because the dog is reacting to you being gone, and having other people in the house doesn't help. So the fact that you're home till September 5th, I would really use this time to work on this, and see if you can build up to where when you do go back to work, it's not going to be as traumatic for your dog. So that was perfect timing to be on vacation. So Travis, just in time. Oh, he's here. They're on a walk. Okay. Okay, Jenny, I've been working on a focus game. I tell Buddy, come front, sit, look, and yes, then give him a treat if he follows all instructions. Perfect. Yeah. I do that exact same thing like in public with Jade, because when we go in public, she's like super focused on other stuff. But yeah, that's great. Another one that you can do that I do with her as well, because when we're in public, it's for her, it's like Disneyland. She just wants to look at everything and sniff everything and say hi to everybody. So whenever she, oh, I can't see his comments. Yeah, he's not even like showing up for some reason. So when we're in public, anytime Jade checks in with me and looks at me, I click and treat. So I don't ask her to do it, but I capture it. So every time she looks and checks in, she gets a reward. Just so she knows that that's like, if I check in with mom, I get rewarded. And I use the Pupford salmon when I'm doing that because that's her favorite. And then it just kind of helps her, realize that as much as I want to smell the bottom row of everything in the store, if I check in with mom, I get salmon. So yeah, but that's perfect. Yeah, keep doing that. Andrea, what are some good treats to leave out that won't go bad? Oh, so perfect are these. I leave these in my car all the time, and sometimes I forget to close them. And these stay good because they're freeze dried and they're only 1 calorie. So this is all I use anymore. And I don't say that just because I work for them. I mean, I'm kind of just an independent contractor. I don't get anything when you guys sell these other than I like supporting them. But this is the only treats that I use because they don't dry out. They're small. They're the perfect size. You can leave them out in like, oh, here comes all my dogs. You can just leave them out in like a bowl or something, just as long as your dog can't jump up and get them. This one to me is a big one. So I will often break it in half. You can break it in half with your fingers. Now you have half a calorie and you have 2. So some of them are already small. That's perfect. If they're a little bit longer, you can give it to your dog, but I just prefer to like break it in half. and use the smaller treats. But then you can leave these out. They're freeze dried. They're not messy. Okay, you guys can have one. Where's Jade? Where's your sister? I always start to get worried when Jade's not here with them because she likes to cause trouble out in the yard, or she jumps the fence. Okay, well, Renee, if Brian has a question, you can put it on yours and I'll answer it. I don't know why he's not showing up. Okay, Travis, I don't understand why Mickey is afraid when I use the computer. She comes up to me anxiously and goes to another room or once outside. When she is in her bed, I can't go up to the computer without her having anxiety. I tried pairing when I go to the computer with treats, but it doesn't work. You know what? It's really interesting that you say that because Jade has all of a sudden developed this fear of my lotion bottle. No idea why, but I have a bottle of lotion on my coffee table, and if I grab the bottle and go to pump it, she will jump off the couch and go to her crate, ears back. Like, I've never hit her. It's not like I beat my dogs with a lotion bottle. I don't know what that is or where it comes from. So I'm doing the same thing right now where it's just like pairing it with treats. One thing you could do is do something really fun or super yummy that Mickey doesn't get any other time. So you could do the stuffed Kong, only stuff it with, I mean, if you usually use peanut butter, this time do baby food or, something like that. You can mix up some broccoli and carrots and stick a milk bone in it and then freeze it. But have that special something only when you're on your computer. Because it sounds like the anxiety with the computer kind of outweighs the treats. So we want to get something really, really high value that Mickey only gets. So we want her to think like, oh, I wish Travis would get on the computer because then I get my super yummy, best of the best, better than ever treat. So like a yak chew, if you don't usually use those, a special bully stick. You could do a snuffle mat with like bacon, like make some bacon and crumple it up and then put that in the, oh, there you are. Good girl. I worry about you when you're out of sight. So something really high value that Mickey doesn't get any other time except when you're on the computer. You could also like work on some stationing. So, have her go to her mat and lick or, lick mat or the frozen Kong or whatever. So, Mickey can go lay down, settle, and do that while you're at the computer. But yeah, it's hard to know like why they suddenly have an aversion to these things because I don't know anything. And this has just happened within the last like 4 months. So I have no idea. Once I have lotion on my hands, like she'll come and lick it. So it's not the smell. It's just something about the bottle and the lotion coming out. So try that. Try giving her something really super special. Travis, another thing is I can't get Mickey's attention when I'm on a walk when another dog approaches. This also translates to the yard more so when she sees a particular dog. So what I do is if you're on a walk and you see a dog, if you can get Mickey's attention before she's like honed in on this dog, and you can do like the come front that we talked about, like, step off to the side or bring Mickey in to sit and then focus on you and give treats. If she's already like can't pay attention, can't focus, then I just do like a happy upbeat, let's go, and we turn and go the other way. So because as the other dog gets closer to you, it's not going to get better. So it's better just to kind of remove yourself. But then you could start working on that like from a distance. So I will have people go to Petco, PetSmart, a vet clinic, and just stay in the parking lot, but start at a distance pretty far away to where Mickey can just notice the other dog, but not react, but can still take treats and focus. And so then I'll start doing the look at that game. So like, oh, look, there's a dog. And if Mickey can look and stay calm, click treat. And I do use a clicker for that because it kind of will help the dog learn to disengage, because they hear the clicker and they're like, oh, yeah, I just got a treat. So again, if Mickey can't pay attention, can't focus, doesn't take treats, then you're too close. So then you need to back up, increase distance between that dog and Mickey. So does that help? The other thing I would do, Travis, is when you're on a walk, anytime Mickey checks in with you or looks at you, I would mark and treat, whether you ask for it or not. Just capture it. Let Mickey know, like, if you check in with me, you're going to get rewarded for that, because then she's more likely to check in with you. Let's see, Jenny, I just ordered the blueberry treats, bully sticks, tendons, and dental chews. Oh, look at you go. Good job. The soap bars. Oh, yes, I do have some soap bars. I haven't used them yet. I got some samples to try, but I have not tried the soap bars. But everything else we've done, and my dogs love them. So awesome. Okay. Renee, Brian had a question about Peyton's nipping, growling, and zoomies when in the backyard. Is it like aggression growling, or is it like play growling? Because it could be, if she's getting like overstimulated, like when they have the zoomies, it could be like play biting, play growling. Like, okay, Jade will do that. She will get the zoomies, and then as she rushes by one of the dogs, she'll kind of growl, but it's all in play. And then I think the digging and the pulling out of the grass is just overstimulation. It's like, I have all this energy and it's got to go somewhere, so I'm going to like dig and pull out the grass. And definitely breeds. Some breeds are more into digging than other breeds. So when my dogs get the zoomies, I just let them do it because it's cute and it's good for them and they're happy when they're doing it. However, if the nipping, let me think about this, because we don't want to reinforce the nipping. And depending on the growling, if it's like a reactive or aggressive growl, still, if a dog growls at me, I back away. So that's just the dog communicating and saying, hey, I don't like what you're doing, or you're too close to my bone, or you're too close to my food, or something like that. If it's just play growling, like when dogs are running around playing, I would just kind of ignore it. The nipping, what you could do is, so let's say Peyton, like, you can tell she's getting amped up and she's going to start in that playful getting the zoomies, you could teach her to pick up a ball. So if she has a ball in her mouth, she can't nip. So right when she's starting to get worked up, like before she has the chance to nip or growl, toss her a tennis ball and teach her. Or you could do something like a flirt pole and let her run and chase the flirt pole and then grab what's on the end of it and then play tug with her. She's going to growl probably when she plays tug, but you could do something like that and then let her have an outlet for that, but then she's going to be biting the toy and not you. So you could even do a long rope toy or something else so that you can engage, you can play tug, but Peyton's not going to be near you to bite. Does that make sense? Um, that's what I would do. And then if she starts to dig and pull out the grass, I just interrupt and I'll say, hey, we don't dig in the yard. And then I'll throw a ball or something or get them doing something else other than the digging. My dogs don't really pull grass out, but they dig. So I just interrupt them and say, okay, that's enough. We're not going to, no digging in the yard. And then I give them a toy or I throw their ball for them again and let them go play. So let me know, Brian, if that answers your question. Travis, my sister's dog is terrified of a particular bone. Wow, my sister gave her this type of bone and backed up really scared. Yeah, it's crazy how dogs just, I mean, I've had Jade for over 2 years. And I can tell you, as far as I know, she has never had a bad experience with a lotion bottle. I'm trying to think if I was giving her like a dry shampoo bath once and or if I sprayed like doggy perfume on her and she associates my lotion bottle with that. I have no idea. But yeah, sometimes dogs will just develop this. And again, we can change their emotional response. We have to then make it so scary thing predicts really good treats. So I should do that with Jada and film it so everybody can see it. Oh my gosh, look at Willie now. Jade took his bed, so now he's laying like that. He's so cute. This dog makes me smile every day. Okay, Travis. I think Mickey realizes when I get anxious and swear while at the computer, and she now translates her feelings. That is a great observation. Because I had to kind of laugh because I swear all the time. And I might sometimes be at my desk and, doing training plans or whatever, and I've been known to cuss at my computer. So yes, that's really good. Oh, Travis, you get another point for that. Because I didn't even pick up on that. That's probably why. You guys, it's not candy. Okay, I have this. These are throat drops. But yes, that definitely could have something to do with it. So now, like when I get worked up or mad, like my dogs aren't even in trouble, but they will sometimes like go right to their crate or cower. It's like, oh, mom's mad. And I'm not even mad at them. So I definitely have to learn to control that. But yes, you can. And one thing I would do, if you can, Travis, is if you're going to be at your computer, put Mickey outside. If you have a fenced yard or whatever, just put her outside. Or in a crate or another room with something super yummy, fun to do. Because that would have a better likelihood of working over teaching myself to not swear when I'm frustrated. So I don't know. You might have more willpower than I do. Okay. Oh, you're going to Taekwondo. So yes, have fun. And let me know how that works. Start that counter conditioning with the computer. Yeah, so Renee, it probably is play growling, so I would just ignore that. I mean, Peyton's having fun, it's playing. A lot of dogs are really vocal when they play, so there's nothing wrong with that. And when dogs play with other dogs, they might they chew on each other and nip each other. So but you don't want her to learn that it's okay to bite humans. So that's when I would step in and like teach them to pick up a toy and then, have the zoomies with a ball in their mouth or come and play tug with you or do the flirt pull or something. And then Jenny does a good one too. Because Buddy does the nipping. Just stop, turn your back, and say no bite, and he usually walks away. Yeah, if that works. I usually like to take it one step further and teach the dog a different behavior. So, because we don't want to discourage play, we don't want them to think that they're doing anything wrong. But if we turn our back and then say, here, go get your ball, or here, let's play tug, then you're giving the dog a good outlet. They can still have fun, but they're not nipping on you. So does that make sense? Okay. Any other questions? We have, welcome all you guys that haven't been here before. I'm so excited. I hope you'll come back next week. I will post on Monday or Tuesday. It'll probably be usually 5:30, 5:30, 6:30, or 7. I usually try and rotate. So Jenny, that's so weird. It was coming up as Jenny Brown, and then this last one, it came up Jennifer Brown. Did you switch platforms? Because it looks like you were on YouTube, and now you're on Facebook. That's why. Okay. Okay, if we don't have any other questions. Oh, Jenny, I know what I was going to say. We were filming some stuff at Pupford, and so my dogs got to try the blueberry treats. Loved them. So I just need to order some because I haven't ordered any, but I know my dogs. Oh, your iPad died. Yep, that sounds like what would happen to me. In fact, my phone is almost dead. Luckily, I'm on my computer. Okay. Let's do a drawing. Whoever wins, since we have some new people tonight, if you win, you're going to email hello@pupford.com. I'm putting it in the chat. Oh, my finger slipped. That little apostrophe at the end of com shouldn't be there. So it's just hello@pupford.com. Let them know that you won. I email them as well and let them know who won. And then let them know what kind of treats you want. So if you're new, you get a free bag of these. And they have chicken, they have beef liver, salmon, rabbit, and sweet potato. So these are our favorites, the salmon, beef liver. But if there's one that you haven't tried yet, or if this is your first time trying them, you'll get to try a bag. So, okay. Tonight's winner is Sandy from Indiana. So congratulations, Sandy. And if you email Pupford, they will mail you out a bag of training treats. So congratulations. Well, I'm glad we got this working tonight. I was a little worried at first that I wasn't going to be able to do the live just because the thing wasn't working. But it's working. And love that we have new people. You guys had great questions tonight. And good job on the case study. And I will think of another case study for next week. You guys are so good. I just love how you think and come up with these ideas. So anyway, you're very welcome. And also, if you need any we didn't really talk about handouts tonight, but if you have any other questions, you're all welcome to email me, Tracy@pupford.com, It usually will take me a couple days to get back to everybody, but I'm happy to answer more questions so you don't have to wait till Wednesday, or if there's a handout that you want. So you guys have a great night and a great rest of your week, and I'll see you next Wednesday.